Hello, my name is Veronica, and welcome into the Learning Lab. And in the lab today, I'd like to share with you my technique for making the most out of these mini composition books and your 6x6 paper pads. Come on in and let's get started. These mini composition books can be found in a number of places. I happen to get mine from Walmart. They come three in a pack. And once you have opened them, you get three little booklets that look like this. So, following Karen McNall's tutorial, I decided to tackle it. And here's what I came up with. Isn't that cute? So, her method involved folding it over, snipping the corners to get around that curve. But look at that, you end up with such a nice finish edge on all of those. They are gorgeous. This is another one that I did. I love the fact that they are finished around the edge, and they do look very professionally done. So after I'd made about, I don't know, 10 or 15 of these, I was like clipping these corners and folding these edges. It's asking for more energy than I have. So y'all know me, I had to go in and figure out my own way to do these. And in doing so, I came across the best way to maximize using your 6x6 paper to accomplish this. And here's what my finished one looked like. Notice I don't have that extra piece of paper that goes on the inside. Now, to make this work, you're going to need paper pads that have at least two of each design. And you can see from this one, it's 2 of 18 designs. When you are looking at one from, let's say, Echo Park, they really don't tell you how many there are of each one, but it tells me I have 48 double-sided papers. And I started counting that I have at least 4 of each one that is in here. But the one that I'm going to share with you today is from Prima, and it is their Pulse collection. And here there are 4 of 12 pattern papers for a total of 48 sheets. So the first thing I needed to do was to select the papers that I wanted to use. And you're going to need 2 of whichever one you decide to use, because 2 of them will cover 2 of these little booklets. Using my tonic trimmer, because this first piece is directional, but I know that I need to reduce this piece down to 4.5 because that is the measurement of the booklet. So I am going to take off 1.5. And because this is directional, I have to pay attention. And I'm going to do this on all 4 pieces. Okay. So let's cut this one at 3.25. We're done with that for now. So what I'm going to do is match up these 2 pieces with these 2, and then these 2 with these 2. So then you're saying, well, V, what am I going to do with these leftover pieces? You can use them to make other cards, or, as I discovered, I can also take this and cut it down, and I can put a little piece across here just to break up the pattern, and I can put my piece on top. And we're going to do that with one of these. So I've already pre-taped these on the front and on the back. You don't need a whole lot, but the smallest piece are the ones that are going to go on the front and back cover. So let's get those adhered down. And where my tape went off a little bit on the corners, I'm just going to fold that back. When I was putting it down, I didn't want to spend time trimming corners that I knew I was going to have to try and trim later. Now on this particular one, I am really close to that edge, so I don't think I'm going to have any problem with lifting. If you think you are, or you didn't get close enough, go ahead and just run a little bead of glue along the edge of your paper. And I probably should have left just a little bit of this hanging on so that I can get this in the right place. That was where I went over the edge just a little bit with my glue. And you can try to push it back some, as I'm doing here. If you find you don't get it all done, then just use some cornstarch or a little bit of baby powder on there just to remove the stickiness of the adhesive. Now, at this point is where you want to trim any excess paper that you have. But because we cut it so well, everything lines up beautifully. And the only thing I'm going to do is just to trim this part down. Because I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. I'm going to avoid that outside corner just a little bit because we're going to round those later, and I don't want it to be too gluey. So you don't need a ton of glue because this is, after all, on the inside. And again, I'm double checking because this is directional. I'm double checking to make sure I have it the right way. And then lining it up right to the edge. Meets up to the outer edge. Then just make sure you work that glue in really well. And if any oozes out, even better, because you know it's nice and stuck down. Beautiful. Now let's go over to the back one. Again, my paper is directional. Need to make sure I've got it going the right way. And let's go back to our wet glue again. Checking my direction again, because I'll share some with you that I didn't check when I put on my saying, and yeah, upside down and backwards. Gotta love it. So after playing around, I discovered that the 3/8 inch corner chumper was perfect for these. It just neatly rounded my corners. And I did ink mine just to finish off the edge, and in case any of the orange or something else was showing through, that just helped to to finish it off. Right? Now, I also created a lot of these little stamps. And what I did with that was I used my circle scallop large, and I used this one, and then my circle, just the plain circle, and what I did was I cut this piece to, I think it was 2 1/4, and then this one to 2 1/2, and I just ran those through my die cut at the same time. So I took a piece of the leftover white paper, and that's what I put inside of my MISTI, and then I chose the stamp that I wanted to use. And I just went through my stamp collection and pulled out some that were small enough to be used, but that had a great meaning. Like, do small things with great love. You can never have too much happy. Believe you can, and you're halfway there. This is a stamp set from KI Memories, and let's see. So if I were to use this one, I would just put it down and see if that fits inside, and if I find that it does, then I just take my circles that I cut out, pop it inside of here, and I just keep stamping and pressing and stamping and pressing. If I want 6 of those, then I'm done. I can choose something else and do another set of those. But that's how I got all of my sayings done. And then I just glued those using liquid glue to the back. So using this one, and this is where you have to check and make sure everything's the right way and my writing is up the right way, I can put this on here. Now, here's where that leftover paper comes into play that we had. I can take some of the one that had the writing on there and put it down here, your book. Another option, take the opposite piece, and you can put that on the inside if you like, and then put something else there. So let's go ahead and cut this piece in half. I'm cutting it down to 3 because I can always trim this if it's too long. I'll do it to here. Then I think I'm going to put that one there. All right. And you can use your tape runner. I'm just going to use some liquid glue to get this down. Then we're just going to cut that off. I would advise against trying to cut it perfectly because you just might cut it too short because not all of these books are the exact same. And burnish that into that edge. And then now, let's put this on. Same thing, some liquid. There, looks to be pretty good. And I'm actually trying to push glue out from the edges because that can be quickly and easily wiped away. And there you have it. The best is yet to come. Again, that leftover piece can also be put onto the back of here just to finish it off. Okay, and that should be in the right spot. Cut that off. is what I came up with for these. I'll share a few more. Let me tidy up and I'll share a few more of them with you, and I'll show you my bloopers. So I'm re-recording the last part of this video because somehow I lost the footage. But I was talking about how you can compensate if you don't have sentiment stamps or anything to punch them out of. Now, what can you do if you don't have a lot of stamps or you just don't want a stamp? Found these at the Dollar Tree and they're perfect. I was in a few weeks ago and I found some of these stickers, and they are fantastic. They have wonderful sayings on them to get you going. I can peel off one of these and put it onto my booklet. So what I've done, I've gone ahead and opened one. And the thing about it is, because they're in black, you really don't need a white piece under it. Let's say, for example, I wanted to put something on this one. The Don't Be Afraid, Just Believe fits right on there beautifully, and you don't need that white background on there. She is strong. Let me come in a little so you can see that. And I think these are great. Let all that you do be done with love. So these can also go on, and they're just stickers. They peel right off, and you can stick them right on so that they blend into the back of the book. And some even have other decorative elements on them. So all is not lost if you don't have stamps. Now for the ones that I messed up, here they are. I put this on the wrong side. Yeah. So these will just be mine, because there's no coming back from this. This is stuck down tighter than tight. They're all cute, but I think these will just be mine. I'll throw them in my purse and I can use those. So those are 3 that I've had to sacrifice, which is okay. But the ones that I did using Karen's method and then going back and using mine, I think was fantastic. I'm just going to pull in some so that you can get a better view on these. So whether you use my method or if you use hers, you can bang some of these out in absolutely no time at all. So if a teen's buying this or you're getting it for a teen, they don't always want the ribbons and bows and hoopla. So I'm leaving that as an option. But I love this graffiti paper. It's perfect. Oh my goodness. This is the one that we did today with the twine, but that can be removed. So whether you're using hers or mine, as I said before, you will have a blast putting these together. They go very quickly. You can use up all of that 6x6 paper that you have, and you're not going to have a ton of leftovers. What is left over is really what truly cannot be used on anything else. So I still have about this many more to cover, and I'll do that as soon as the camera goes off. As always, thank you for joining me in the lab today. Please be sure to visit my blog at inkallusions.blogspot.com. Until then.